a holder for another camera.
Oh.
Which isn't in there.
Oh.
I put it on there so I could get some backwards photos.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of attachments.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's easy to get confused. Got so confused this morning I forgot my cell phone.
I remember that in my license.
So, Br'er Dan and I are off, heading out of the parking lot by this little Mexican restaurant across the street from the Kroger's restaurant in Farragut, Tennessee. We'll be turning on to US Route 11, heading west for a very short stretch. That is, if the light ever decides to change. Br'er Dan and I haven't ridden together since 2017. He's been away and was away the whole riding season last year, and this is the first time we were able to get together this year. Now he's going to be headed back up north again. Always working. What a guy. On the right there, that was a gas station that's been closed for, must be 10 years. Seems to me like that'd be a prime piece of property for somebody, but maybe there's something wrong with it. Maybe nobody wants to pay the expense of digging up the old gas tanks that are underneath the ground and probably leaking, and you know, I'm sure that would likely be a requirement in order to develop something there. Just a short stretch here, and we will be going onto Interstate 40 and 75, which are conjoined at this point. Farther west of here, they split. I-75 goes down to Chattanooga, and if you stayed on 75, you would run right into Georgia. Whereas I-40 goes west to Nashville and then on to Memphis and into Arkansas. It's a stretch of road I got to become very familiar with when I took my trip in the little toy car back in 2005. Interesting that the closer you get to Memphis, the worse the roads get. And when you cross over into Arkansas, they're worse still. I don't know what that says about the funding allocations for keeping the interstates updated and where they happen to be. Now we've been heading down Route 61 out of Oak Ridge and through Oliver Springs, and we're looking for the cutoff to Route 62, which will take us towards Wartburg. Wartburg, boy, there's a great name for a town. Must be somewhere right near Bunyanville in the Pimple province or something like that. Oh, hey lady, nice right turn, nice signal, good job. Yeah, make some tracks, get out of my way. think she realized she did something wrong. At least she didn't run into me or Br'er Dan. Good thing about that anyway. It's a beautiful day today. Temperatures are just about cold enough for a jacket that's vented and not anything heavy underneath. It's the kind of day we like to ride, isn't it? This is kind of a pretty drive. Winds through some rather poor areas, as I think you'll see if you look along the sides. But I'm sure there's some good folks that live around here. Beginning to see some color in the trees, not a whole lot yet, but we're entering one of the two really beautiful seasons for riding in East Tennessee. The fall, when the colors are beginning to turn before the leaves start to fall, and of course spring, when all the flowering trees are really in bloom. Tennessee is a great place to ride, and I'm glad to hear that there are some riders in East Tennessee that seem to enjoy riding here as much as I do. We're headed for Brushy Mountain. This will be like my third time going in the last couple of years or so. And I went with a car club. That must have been in 2017. And I rode there and met up with Great Rides and did the Devil's Triangle just a couple of months ago. And now with Br'er Dan. You'd think I'd get tired of seeing the Brushy Mountain Penitentiary, which is now turned into a tourist trap. I don't think I recall the exact details, but it seems that what are you going to do with an old prison? I mean, there's not much you can do. I suppose you could raise it, but why? I think the people that have developed it were able to get a low-cost lease, and now they have a nice restaurant that they call the Warden's Table. They have a gift shop, and they have their own distillery where they make flavored white lightning, which of course now is quite legal. I'm not particularly crazy about it, but if I do drink it, I probably go for the clear stuff. Now we're making the right-hand turn off of 62 and heading down into Petros, which is where the prison is located. This was a prison that was actually built in 1896 and closed in 2009. And if you go through it, you will find out that prison life was pretty bad there. I mean, prison life is, I guess you could never say it's pleasant, but this was especially bad. There didn't seem to be much in the way of segregation of prisoners in terms of the severity of their crimes. You might have a petty thief housed with a rapist or a murderer, or just imagine the worst possible people that could be incarcerated in this place. And they do have a hole, which is a good description for it, because it's certainly what it is. It's enough to make people go crazy rather quickly, I understand. It's kind of ironic that the road that leads to it is such a pleasant drive. And I think most of the people that live along this road had been part of the prison when it was in fact a prison. And probably now, I'm guessing, of course, that some of them work at the concessions at the prison now. And probably a good number of them have gone to the new prison, which opened in 2009 after this one was being phased out, called the Morgan County Correctional Complex. I worked there for a few years as a volunteer chaplain. No, I'm not a preacher man, but I'm just somebody that has some sympathy for guys that are locked up for 23 hours a day and only out of their cells, or cages if you prefer, for an hour a day. And it's a surprising mix of people that wind up in this place. Some of them, they kind of look like this is where they belong, and some of them, well, look like the kid next door. I had a good time with them. Sometimes when you're in such an awful place, the biggest treat of the day or the week is seeing a friendly face. I don't care what they did. They're human beings. They deserve to be treated with respect. And when they get that, you get it back from them. Not all of them. I mean, there are those that just sleep because it's not much to do there. Or watch their TV sets, which they're allowed to have if a member of their family gives it to them. No gifting, unfortunately. Left turn here, and now we're down to the short strokes of getting to the prison. You would think that that being locked down would be the worst thing possible, but occasionally there are prisoners that are locked down because they are targets of predators. And probably being a victim of predation would be even worse than being locked up in a cell. I don't know. Let my imagination carry me and make me think that that would be the case. I gave up my prison ministry up at Morgan County when I kind of had a dispute with my mentor, and unfortunately he took a hard line and he wanted me to step out. There's the prison off in the distance coming up into view. It's a beautiful location. Dr. Martin Luther King's assassin was housed here. He escaped once, but they were able to recapture him. I'm guessing that structure on the left is probably a guardhouse controlling access of vehicles coming in and out, and probably checking to make sure that an inmate hasn't tried to tag along with somebody leaving the prison complex. But anyway, if you ever get to see Brushy Mountain, I think you'd find it to be really fascinating. I have. Been 3 times, would probably go again. But anyway, thanks for riding along with me. Speedster Johnny, out.